And today, Joel is going to talk to us about creating an emergency stash of food.
Well, thanks, Sina. And, those of us who enjoy Dave Ramsey, the financial guru, he's always talking about a 6-month emergency fund for cash. That you should look at your living expenses, take your budget, and look at what you need for 6 months, and you should have that literally as cash in the bank. So that if the transmission goes out in the car, if suddenly the roof springs a leak, Sina, the amazing thing right now is that 50%, get this, 50% of Americans right now cannot put their hands on $400 of cash.
Wow. That's alarming.
Yeah, it is alarming. And what that means is you don't have wiggle room, in your life. Everything's just, well, we talk about hand to mouth. And so we get this in financials. And so I'd like to take this Dave Ramsey concept and move it forward to a 6-month, maybe not 6 months, maybe that's too long, but 3 or 4. But anyway, a multi-month stash. In food, the average city has 3 days worth of food on hand. In other words, if you take the population of a city and you take all the supermarkets and, the Walmart, the Costco, the Kroger's, the Piggly Wiggly, wherever you are, HEB, and you take all that food, the average city has enough food on hand for 3 days. I talked to a restaurateur in Washington, D.C. the other day. He said that every day, you ready for this? Every day, 4 tractor trailer loads of French fries go into Washington, D.C. Every single day, 4 tractor trailer loads of French fries go into D.C. That's just one city. And it's not, it certainly isn't as big as New York. It's not as big as L.A. And so, as a farmer and as a direct marketing farmer, I'm constantly amazed when I hear those kinds of things, of just the sheer magnitude, the size of these kinds of things. And may I say, the fragility of it all. Right now, for the first time in America's history, 20% of all food eaten in America is grown outside the country. So 1 in 5 bites is grown on foreign land somewhere. And that's never been true in the U.S. And so 20%. So, just think about this. As a nation right now, 20% of our food, we're already dependent on somebody else. And so, as I've rattled off a couple of these little items, the average American goes to the supermarket, 3 days a week? Your household doesn't have any storage. We run into people all the time. Well, I can't buy a quarter of beef. I can't buy a cooler full of meat at once because I don't have a freezer. And so what I want to juxtapose that then with what happened in the spring of 2020. In the spring of 2020, if you'll recall that, supermarket shelves went bare. There was no food. And so I would simply ask everybody listening, I would ask, what do you think it would have done to the psyche of our country, to the average person, if in the spring of 2020, every household had a couple, 3 months worth of food in their pantry? Suddenly, people wouldn't have been quite so, concerned.
Afraid. We were afraid. Yeah.
Afraid and fearful, and seen as we've discussed on this podcast multiple times, one of the number one destroyer of the immune system is stress, and fear is one of the biggest stresses in life. Hi everybody. To watch the full episode of Beyond Labels, click on the subscription link located in the description box.